Thank you. This is a huge honour, and I do feel incredibly humbled. This has all caused me to reflect a great deal on my career. When I graduated, and I was the first in my family to go to university as well, and it was more than a few years ago, I made a promise to myself that I would try to be the very best speech and language therapist that I could be, and also stay true to my Yorkshire roots, that if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. Or as my grandparents would say, work hard, lass. The job I do now as a speech and language therapist in critical care didn't even exist back then. You might not be aware that over 200,000 people, adults and children, are admitted to an intensive care unit every year. That's about 550 people a day. And 80% of these were living independently before. So I see patients in my job and families going through the very worst experience of their lives. And I'm inspired every day by their courage and by the care and compassion of my colleagues. Many of these patients, because they're so weak and because they have tubes and tracheostomies in their throat, are actually unable to communicate. At least 60% are unable to swallow. They're fed through a tube. My patients later tell me that losing their voice was the single most frightening experience of being on intensive care, because it equated to losing their identity. In my work, I'm privileged. I get to use my knowledge and skills to restore their voice so they can tell their family they love them. And staff can really humanise their care and see the person in the bed. And I can give them back their swallow so they can take that first sip of water or a cup of tea. Things we all take for granted. And these are real turning points in their recovery. I never get tired of witnessing that. It's what drives me to look for better treatments. So in my clinical research, I've developed new techniques enabling patients to communicate and swallow much earlier on ICU. This helps their nutrition, their strength, their motivation, their mood. And incredibly, these have been adopted all around the world. Never expected that. And I will keep highlighting the importance of speech and language therapy until all ICU patients get the rehabilitation they need at the right time. I face challenges in my career, such as ill health, being bullied, and of course, working in intensive care during the pandemic. But I've also grasped opportunities, like working in different countries, with really disparate healthcare systems, and with some incredible voluntary agencies. From this, I've learned some quite unexpected skills, like riding a motorbike to assessments in the West Indies, doing swallowing assessments in Chinese in Singapore, and performing a nasendoscopy in 40-degree heat, kneeling on a concrete floor in a Cambodian hospital. These experiences have actually all taught me resourcefulness. They've given me courage, and they've helped me to adapt and to lead others during our NHS's recent greatest challenge. But finally, I want to say to you all, congratulations. Your hard work has paid off. And I wish you the very best in your future careers. The adventure starts now. But my words to you are always try to keep your patients at the very heart of what you do. Work hard, be compassionate, keep learning, innovate, and pursue excellence, and be the very best that you can be. Thank you.